Welcome to the Ambitious Coach Podcast. This is a place where driven, determined coaches learn how to get off the business growth struggle bus and learn how to build a wildly profitable online coaching business. I'm your host, Allison Henderson, corporate dropout to six-figure social media business coach. I'm going to show you how I've been able to create the business of my dreams organically, all through utilizing my social media platforms. So pull up a seat, take some notes, and get ready to see your life and bank account transform. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I have a very special guest, Katie Pitt. She is the founder of Sleepwise Consulting. Welcome, Katie.
Hi, thank you so much, Allison, for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Yay. All right. So I love starting my podcast with just sharing a little bit about you, your story, and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. Like most people listening, I'm sure it all starts with like a need, an unmet need that you have found where I'll remember the day when I said, people need to know about this. They need to know that it exists. And that's where my story starts. So my background is in speech language pathology. Did that in the school setting for about 7-8 years before I got pregnant and had my first son. He was born 7 weeks early, so pretty significantly premature. Spent some time in the hospital, but it was okay. And when I say it was okay, it's like we were ready. Type A, I'm a prepared person. Like all of the clothes, 7 weeks early, they were washed and hung up. The nursery was ready. Like we had this, right? We were ready to go. Little did I know that babies didn't just sleep, right? I really thought like you have a baby, just like they kind of eat or poop, they sleep too, right? No. I was wrong. And so once we got home from the hospital, 3 very, very, very long months later, we were at the point of rock bottom sleep deprivation. He was waking up every 45 minutes all night long. I can still remember so many times my husband would wake up and I'm holding this baby and like crying and I'm nursing him. So he's helping as he can. But you know, if you're a nursing mom, like it's on you. And he was premature. So I had to make sure he was eating. And things were falling apart, right? Our marriage was starting to fall apart. I was questioning this whole motherhood thing. I will never, ever forget where I was sitting in my home with my laptop in the morning, looking up adoption agencies because I'm like, I can't do this.
Wow.
God made a mistake. I'm not meant to be a mom. Like my son deserves better. And that's a low point, right? That's a really, really hard feeling. And so I took a breath. And I think it was just the next morning. I'm like, we'll try one more day, see what happens. And the next morning I woke up and I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to figure out how to solve this problem. And so if you've ever looked up how to get your baby to sleep on Google, you will find that one article says, definitely do this. This will work. And then the next article says, oh my gosh, if you do that, you have damaged your baby for a lifetime. Don't ever do that. And then the next article says something completely different. And so when you're already sleep deprived, it's infuriating. Like, what am I supposed to do? And so really, I just piecemealed a bunch of things together. I'm like, this feels right for me. This doesn't. This seems okay. I don't like this. And put a bunch of pieces of a bunch of different articles together and gave it a shot. And after 2 nights, our lives were drastically changed. I was sleeping. My son not only was sleeping, but he was happier. My marriage was coming back together in just 2 short nights. And that's when I realized people need to know about this, right? When you talk about how tired you are, you'll hear people like, oh, well, guess you shouldn't have had a baby. Or, you could sleep. Like all of these awful things that we're shaming parents with who are just not surviving. And I wanted to be that answer and that solution for other people. And that's why when my son was just 7 months old, I became certified as a sleep consultant, and Sleepwise to this week, it's actually very special because it's to this week, 11 years ago, I sat in training to become a certified consultant. And 11 years later, we have helped over 12,000 families and have
Wow.
a team of over 70 consultants nationwide that we're spreading our impact.
Wow. What a story. Just that moment of I'm going to look up adoption agencies, like that to me was like, oh my God. Because I'm sure there are moms out there that are questioning, can I actually do this? Like what? Like I think they made a mistake. Like I don't think I can actually handle this. And I'm sure you've shared that story many times, and a lot of people can resonate with that. And I've helped a lot of sleep consultants over the years, and I always say like the thoughts that these moms are actually having are so much deeper than I'm not getting sleep or I want to sleep better. I'm like, let's get more specific. So you even saying like, I literally thought that I couldn't do this. Like they made a mistake. Like that's like what I'm like, that's, I don't want to say that's sales, but that's a really great, that's marketing. I'm like, oh my God, like that is a story. And so if any of you guys are listening and you have stories like this and you maybe are sleep consultants or not, but like your story has such an impact on your business. So
absolutely. I'm always teaching my team. I'm like, we're not selling sleep. We're selling the better life that comes with sleep, right?
Yeah.
We're selling the parents being able to show up for work. We're selling, right? Like, the empowerment, the predictability, all of that internal stuff that comes from it. So Allison, spot on. Exactly.
Can you share though, you've said you've helped 12,000 families over the years. Like, kind of give me a good rundown of like those first few clients that you got. How did you get them?
Yeah, so it was, I was 3 months in and I had one client, just one.
Normal. We're going to say, guys, that's normal. That happens.
Exactly. It's normal. It takes time. But of course, you're thinking like, I just invested in this. I'm so excited about it. Like, why isn't everyone jumping to it? And it's really frustrating because then you go through all the things again. Did I make a mistake? Did I choose the wrong path? Do people want what I have to sell? The imposter syndrome, all of it comes with it. And so it's really, it's about networking, right? And putting your name out there. And that stuff does take time. And so eventually I had that first client. And then I made my way into a couple of moms groups and started doing Q&As in those groups. And that was really impactful. And it just was a couple months later where all of a sudden it exploded. Now, as I mentioned, I've had over 70 people on our team. Everybody's story is different. Some people right away, bam, seeing lots of clients. Other people, it's a slow trickle that continues to be a slow trickle until word of mouth starts working for you. But for me, it was a little bit of word of mouth. It was a little bit of getting into these communities, answering questions, proving to people I know what I'm talking about and I can solve their problem for them. That really kind of helped Sleepwise explode.
Yeah. So what made you then want to start? Because I'm assuming the certification stuff happened much later. How did you decide I want to now start certifying and having my own team of sleep consultants?
Yeah. So after about 1.5 to 2 years, I was managing about 17 to 25 families a month. And so if you're a sleep consultant, you're going to know like that's a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It got to the point where like I'm getting on the call and I'm like, I don't like, wait, whose baby is this? Which log is this? And I'm like, okay, no, this is not what people are paying for. This is not okay. Like I need to either slow down or I need to bring on help. And I was like, if someone comes to you in their rock bottom moment, you want to help them. And so I said, let me bring on a team of people. And so I slowly started, at my first group I brought on, they were 3 people and sent them to a training. They got certified. They came and started working with Sleepwise. And we really started kind of expanding from there. It wasn't until about 3 years later, maybe 2-3 years after that, that I realized I was sending people to training. They were to get certified. They were coming back to Sleepwise, and I was having to almost untrain them and like reteach them like, well, wait, this is what we do at Sleepwise. This is what we find that works. And that's when I decided to start just training people myself. And have been doing that for now years and years. We're actually hosting a live training next week as well. Of really getting like the specific Sleepwise methodologies.
Amazing. Yeah, I think whenever I talk to sort of women who have certifications, it's very similar, like similar story. Like I felt like they were missing something, like that certification, like wasn't saying it the way I wanted them to say it.
Right.
So I love that everyone has like their own little different methodologies and the little tweaks on sleep training or whatever, you guys decide to call it. Cause I know certain programs are calling it different things these days, but I just love that. Okay. So let me back up a bit though. So you got your first few clients kind of like word of mouth inside these Facebook groups. Then all of a sudden you're having like crazy success, 20, you said 25 clients. So where is that? What happened in between there? Like, was it just word of mouth or did you do ads? Were you just like, no, I was like just putting myself out there, content every day. Like, where were you hanging out?
Really, I was hanging out in the groups. Now, keep in mind, this was 11 years ago, so the landscape now is a lot different. But at that time, sleep consultants were a very new thing, where people are like, wait, what do you do? What is that?
Yeah, it's still even when I tell people I help sleep consultants with their business, they're like, what the hell is a sleep consultant? What are you talking about? So it's still relatively, I feel like a thing that's not like a household like name yet, a household thing.
Yeah, I would say I definitely see, depending on the communities you're in, the tide's turning for that for sure. But absolutely, there is still, I mean, we were just talking with someone yesterday and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, we teach people how to sleep. And they're like, what? Like, what? What is that? But so at this time, I mean, there weren't a lot of us out there, sleep consultants. And so I found essentially a group that believed in sleep training. And within those Q&As, that's when people started to be like, oh, and I worked with Katie and she saved my life. I worked with Katie, she saved my marriage. I worked with Katie, this, and this. And so it was a little bit of combination of the word of mouth, but through this group, these couple of groups that I had found, that's where I was spending a lot of my time. Yes, I was still like posting on social media and doing those things, but not at all remotely in the way that like we're doing today, or what I'd call, air quote here, like the correct way.
Yeah.
It was more about like those connections.
Got it. So now, in your program, like for sleep consultants and helping them build their business, like what do you feel is working right now as far as marketing?
Building relationships. Okay. Building relationships for sure. Old school marketing is what's working right now, right? It's going way, way back to like building relationships, having conversations, networking, talking to people, building trust. The ways of like, here's a funnel with my 5 tips and here's my PDF download. Yeah, it's not working. It's not moving the needle right now. I do think it'll come back because everything does come in cycles and we've seen it cycle around a couple of times. But I am specifically walking my consultants through a marketing curriculum, right? Like these are the things that you need to do. These are the relationships that you need to form. These are how you nurture those relationships because people aren't trusting other people right now. Nationwide, maybe worldwide. And so it's developing that trust. And it's not in the like, hi, I'm a sleep consultant. I can, like if you ever go on LinkedIn, you get like spammed with that kind of stuff where I'm like, I don't even know who you are. But it's really getting to know people, getting to know their problems. Can you solve it? Can you not? And forming that trust before they even give you a penny.
Yeah. Yeah. With AI right now at its height, it's like, people need to actually know what you're talking about. Like they don't want to just hire somebody that's going to put them in an app that's going to generate their responses and stuff. It's like, no, we're hiring people. And I did a post yesterday and it's like, we can work on our money mindset all day long, but like what you really need to be working on is your relationship with people. Because if you have this fear of having the conversations or having the fear of just being rejected, all these sort of things, like it's all going to come up when you start your business, or even if you've been doing this for 10 years, like this stuff still pops up for all of us, but it's just like getting over that fear of actually having the conversation and talking to real people, even having hard conversations with your clients. Like that's a relationship. I'm like, you're going to become such a better coach or such a better, employee or whatever you want to call it. It's like when you know how to communicate in a way that, isn't going to completely daunt you from wanting to have more conversations,
Well, you're really spot on there. I do lots of hiring of people to join our team, and people always ask, like, well, what are you looking for? Do I need to have some background in like sleep knowledge? Do I need? I'm like, no, I can teach anybody sales, marketing, and sleep. I can teach anybody that. That's easy. What I'm looking for is people who know how to talk to people, like they have that professionalism. They're empathetic, and more than anything, and this speaks exactly to what you're talking about, Allison, it's mindset. People with a growth mindset are the ones in my company who go really far, who are making six-figure incomes because they're willing to learn. They're willing to fall on their face and get back up. They're willing to endure the nose. Like sales and marketing, and you know this better than anybody. It is a mindset and work ethic game more than a skills game, time and time again. And that's hard. And it's really hard alone too.
Yeah. Now, I know with your program, what kind of communities do you recommend them being a part of?
For as far as like my consultants to get into for clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we always say like go like local moms groups, local within your surrounding areas. Of course, we've all heard the things like MOPS or Fit for Mom, or all of those can be great communities to build relationships with as well. We talk a lot about like referral partners. It's a longer game, but the chiropractors, the pediatricians, pediatric airway dentists are a huge thing right now, right? So talking in those communities as well, but it's really just about, it goes back to what you said. It's about talking to people, networking, and just not being scared of like saying, this is what I do, to anybody you meet.
Yeah. A lot of my current clients, when they come in and they're just starting their business, I go, if a mom came up to you at a park right now and they said, hey, what do you do for a living? What do you say? Because if it's still like, I'm an accountant, I'm like, then we're not there yet. You have to actually say, I'm a sleep consultant, or I'm this, and this is what I do. This is how I can help people. I'm like, that's how you're going to get the identity piece of like, this is who I am. This is like, you're a walking billboard for your business. And when you're afraid to talk about it, it's going to be really hard for you to get those organic clients on the street, or, the referrals that you are truly like seeking from these pediatricians or whatever. I'm just like, it has to be a part of the thing that comes out of your mouth when you're meeting everybody.
I mean, absolutely. 100%. It is. I'll never forget. You're from around my area, so I'm sure you're familiar with Fair Oaks.
Oh yeah, Fair Oaks. Yeah.
I was there a couple of years ago with a group of consultants who also live in the area, and we were there with our kids. And I'll never forget, she was my top consultant. And as I was watching, I'm like, this is why. She overhears someone over here, like two people just talking about sleep and how they didn't sleep. And she goes, I'll be right back. And she walks on over to them and just casually, authentically, with integrity is like, I overheard you saying this. Just want to let you know that's what I do. No pressure. Here's my card. And I'm like, that's what it is all about, because every single person knows someone who's not sleeping well. And so like the more you put your name out there, it might not be that mom at the park, but it could be her friend or her sister, or another mom that's sitting on a bench over here who's an introvert and never going to talk to anybody, but hears you saying this and really needs you. You just never know.
Yeah, that's actually so true. There's not going to be a lot of people at the park that are like, my baby isn't sleeping. Who knows, right? And a lot of people want to make themselves look good, so they might not necessarily be saying that I'm struggling. So there's a lot of silent people struggling right now. So you talking about it. This is why social media, I feel like, is great. But even locally, like I said, if you're at a park or anywhere, just bringing it up and talking about it. And like I said, well, hopefully someone does overhear you and they can like maybe do a quick little Google search of like, I just heard her say she's a sleep consultant in blah, blah, blah area.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it goes back to, you speaking of social media, back to what you were saying of like talking about your story and keep posting, because just because it might not get many likes or engagements, people commenting, not everybody's going to be like, oh, that's me. My life is falling apart and I'm not sleeping, right? But they're going to be seeing the things you're saying. They're going to silently be watching. They're going to know what you do. And they're going to be like, okay, now I'm ready. And they're going to send you that private message. So it doesn't mean, people get discouraged, like, I only got 2 likes on this. Well, so many more people saw it and know what you do. And so keep doing it. Keep showing up, keep proving to people that you can solve their problem.
I was gonna say most of my last few one-on-one clients, it was a random DM. Like I didn't know they were gonna DM me just saying I want to work with you. It was like they just popped out of nowhere. And a lot of them I didn't
Yes.
even know were consuming my content. Unless like sometimes I can see through my stories like, oh, this person's popping up every day. But it's not always so obvious. And I always
Yes.
tell my clients, like, your next client could literally come out of absolutely nowhere.
Hmm.
So you showing up every day, you actually putting in the work, all these actions compile and compile and compile. And over time, this is like just what builds consistency for yourself. And
Yes.
then true, it happens too. Like when you start getting clients, those are your brand ambassadors. Like you get them results. They love you. They want to shout from the rooftops too, that you're amazing and that they all have to work with you. And so it just takes some time to get to that point. And for you, luckily it was like, bam, like it just happened where you couldn't keep up. And then you did have to start hiring clients or other sleep consultants underneath you to help with that momentum that you've put yourself in. What do you feel like you had? You might not want to humble brag yourself, but like, what do you feel like you had that maybe some of these newer sleep consultants are lacking?
I will be a learner my entire life.
Mm,
Always. I am always looking at myself, how to better myself. I am a huge proponent of mental health and therapy. Um, I think that that is what always keeps me going. Like one of our core values at Sleepwise is continuous growth, always learning, always improving. Doesn't mean that there weren't struggles. Doesn't mean that there weren't times where I'm like, I'm done. Nope, like I'm out, right? But it's that you come back, you get back up, you keep going. I really think that that tenacity and perseverance is what has got us to where we are. And now again, I always caution because people are like just see the shiny outside. I'm not saying it was easy, right? Like I've been bruised and bloodied and all of that on the floor. But if you keep going, then it works out. It really does, as long as you're willing to look at your stuff and you're willing to continue to learn.
yeah. The person that wins is the one that never gives up, realistically.
Amen. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
I always just say if you put in enough time, you start seeing that consistency. I think so many people just give up before it gets good, or
Mhm.
the mindset stuff gets to them where they struggle and they don't ask for help. And the mental component of entrepreneurship is the hardest part. Because me posting on
Yes.
social media, easy. In my opinion, guys, this stuff is
Yeah.
me sending emails, easy. It's the stuff of like, what are people going to think of me? Or do I look like a failure? I don't get any likes anymore. What are people going to think? Like, it's just like that sort of stuff. And you're just like, oh my God, this is like, you have to really coach yourself out of it sometimes. Or like I said, get help, the mental, like people to actually support you through all this. Cause the imposter syndrome, like and that's like a thing. What I think is what really stops people from being so successful.
I agree. I mean, I think always if you are a solopreneur, you need a coach, you need a mentor and or like an accountability person in your corner because it can be really lonely. You have to have that community. You have to have that like that person holding their hand to help you pick back up. I think that that is really really huge to have that partnership for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, any last words of wisdom or anything that you feel like I really want to make sure that I shared this on your podcast today?
No, I mean, it's so cheesy, but it's like everyone's dream is possible. It really is. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but I truly believe like every single, I was going to say woman, but we have one man on our team also, but every single person that joins our team, I say, we can make you as successful as you want to be. I absolutely know it, but it's going to be on you. It's on you to put in that time. It's on you to keep showing up. It's on you to like ask for help. We have that all there. And so that's what I'm wanting people to come away with. Like if you have that dream, keep going and maybe write it down, make it visual. So on those hard points, you can look at it. It is possible, but all these people you see that like you think are doing it so much easier than you, it's probably not reality. Keep going, keep showing up. Those clients will come. give them the best services that you can, because they're going to recommend your friends. And before you know it, you're going to have just a referral base that's going for you. And it does, but keep going.
I love that. Thanks, Katie. I think everybody needs to hear that, because if you're down in the dumps right now, just honestly, we've all had those days or moments like throughout the day, even like that you could wake up in the morning and be like, I'm amazing. And then by like 12, you're like, what is happening? I hate this.
Yes, so true. So normal.
Yeah,
so normal.
The roller coaster of emotions in entrepreneurship, man, is crazy. But it's all so worth it. So thank you, Katie, for showing up today, sharing your story. I appreciate you so much. So where can people find you?
They can go to my website, sleepwiseconsulting.com. We're also on Instagram, Sleepwise Consulting, and we're on Substack now as well. So you are welcome to find us in any of those places.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening today, and I'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Ambitious Coach podcast today. A couple favors before you go. If you found this episode helpful, please take a screenshot and share it on Instagram. Most importantly, don't forget to tag me at Allison Henderson _coach. That's ALLISON Henderson _coach. And lastly, please take a minute to rate this episode and leave a raving review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to listen. Okay, ambition is great, but it's time to get to work. Take action and commit to being 1% better every day. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again next week.